Hello Internet, my name is Hazel from Hazel Ninety Games, and welcome to my first aid with and first impressions of Thomas Was Alone. This is an indie puzzle platformer game created and published by a man by the name of Mike Bethell. It was released for Windows PC and Mac in 2012 and has since been made available for Linux, PlayStation 3, and PS Vita. It's a very simple and a very powerful game. Let's jump in and you're gonna see exactly what I mean. The music in particular is incredible. The coder started adding name strings to the AIs as a joke. Thomas AT23612 wasn't special. It was just an AI in the right place at the right time.
Was alone. Wow. A weird first thought to have.
Alright, so we are Thomas. Here we are. We are a little rectangular red block. We move using the just the arrow keys, that's that simple, and we're trying to get into the portal, so let's go right ahead. As you progress in your...
listing his observations for posterity.
As you progress through the platforming and through the levels.
The whole alone thing. 2. Portals. They led somewhere. He'd yet to work out where. 3. Falling. Thomas was absolutely fantastic at falling. He was almost as good at falling as he was at observing.
Yes, so as I'm saying, as you progress through the levels, you will trigger new bits of dialogue, of monologue, of words, and it's really like it's a story. It's a wonderful story.
Interesting. Thomas couldn't fall past this block. Think, damn it, think. What if there was some kind of inverted fall? Some way to...
Jump was the word that he was missing there.
Jump. But Thomas noted there was no real danger in missing it. The world didn't want him to fail here. It was pushing him, but gently.
Oh no. Goodness. I was so ready for that too. I was just waiting for it to, there we go. Waiting for it to finish talking about it.
This all seemed a little dangerous. The world was not to be trusted. It was unstable, and it seemed to Thomas that it could let him down at any moment. He was stuck. Thomas wondered whether the portals were actually taking him anywhere. He felt like he was making progress, but there wasn't really any way to know. He seemed to be moving predominantly up and to the right, which might, or might not, be important.
The graphics of this game, the aesthetic of it, is very clean, it's very simple. I love the way the light has been done with the blocks here. It's just, it's not taxing on the computer at all, but it's just beautiful. And I apparently can't do this. There we go. There we are. Oh. Platforming does get a little bit more challenging as you move forward. First couple levels are very much about getting into the feel of the game.
It might have been paranoia again, but Thomas could have sworn the world was becoming more complicated. It always seemed to be one step ahead of his skills. It had been designed just for him. He wondered why. Was the world testing him? No. Too obvious.
Yes. Onwards.
Something about the boiling, toxic, glowing water intimidated Thomas. He didn't like it. He certainly didn't want to swim in it. He made another mental note.
Water is not good and should be avoided. It's mental notes. Oh dear.
The loneliness was getting to Thomas. No amount of observation or obsessive note-taking could combat that.
So the mechanics of this game, like so far all we've seen is really just arrow key movement. As we progress further, we're going to get access to different blocks that have different abilities in terms of their movement speed and their jump height. And of course their physical shape. They also get personalities, as we will see shortly. Oh no. Oh, I'm so close. Goodness. Yeah, so the platforming is nice. It's not so complicated that it gets distracting from the story. And the story is really what we're playing the game for. If you want to play the game for the platforming, there's much better, more interesting platformers.
Thomas had a new theory. The world was training him. He could feel himself getting smarter. There was the mental list to consider. Over the minutes and seconds since his spontaneous generation, he'd become a pretty skilled jumper. He was evolving. He just wished he had someone to share it with.
It kind of feels like you're a human that's been stuck inside of a computer. And like this must be what it's like being part of a giant block of code. During the emergence event. Oh, here we go.
Chris took an immediate and deep
So
dislike
Q,
to
E,
the skinny red rectangle.
L, R
Who
were the number
hell
keys,
did
I
this
see.
Thomas think he was?
So Christopher is a little dumb tiny fat block. And supposedly we need to use these number keys to switch to Christopher. There we are. He doesn't jump quite as high, but he's short and fat and cute, and that's all that matters. And then back over to Thomas, and we get Thomas through. So now the puzzles are going to start incorporating the necessity of using both of these characters.
Fine. He wasn't the highest jumper, but he'd held his own. He'd even been graceful at times. Well, not actually. Not technically graceful. It's probably the wrong word, but you know, fine. There was that skinny little runt leaping about like he owned the place.
I don't think I can make this jump. Nope. Or maybe I can, and I'm just being dumb about it. Nope. Not gonna happen. Let's go see if we can get Thomas. Alright. Thomas is the best jumper. The best. This also feels like a really odd dream. Because just the way that the world is changing as you're going through it. It doesn't really change in ways as to mess you up too much. There's not too much movement in at least these earlier levels. Later on, you're going to get moving platform. Oh, Jesus, I spoke too soon about that. I may have gotten punched by the wall a little tiny, oh dear, little tiny bit. That's alright. We're doing fine. We gotta go help out Chris. Get our buddy Christopher over here. There we are. Come on, Chris. Hop on my head. There you go. Good work, Chris. It's alright. Don't worry about that Thomas fellow. Good. So the music is supposedly actually procedurally generated for this game, just over a consistent theme, and it works out just to be really, really relaxing. There we go. Sorted. I'm not gonna go too far, because I want you to play the game for yourself.
Okay, this was more like it. A glowy white thing. Only Chris could get to it, which of course made it all the more enticing. What would it do? What new opportunity might this switch open up to him? Great, great. Another chance for Thomas to jump slightly higher than Chris. How fortunate. Seriously, this made the whole switch pressing thing entirely worthwhile.
And that's the gist of it. So, obvious strong points of the game are the narration. I've been trying my
Because
best.
on the surface, it did not seem good. Chris was pretty scared. Little Red seemed fine, happy to be on his merry little adventure. Chris couldn't
Trying
shake
my
the
best
feeling
to
that things had
stay
taken a
out of the way of the
significant turn
commentary.
for the worse since Thomas had joined in. Sure,
This game
he's
doesn't
been
need
able
anybody to show you how to play
piggyback
it.
his way to ever so slightly higher platforms, but where had that got him? Well, to ever so slightly higher platforms, which was sort of his point.
And on they go. In later levels, you're going to unlock additional, or you're going to meet additional characters. I believe there's a block named Laura, as well as one named Chloe, so we do get some women in this party. And this is, I think you get the idea. There's not too much to say about it, that it doesn't really say for itself. It's wonderful. I would highly recommend that you look into it, if you're into this kind of thing. It's not high action, don't expect too much gore and gunplay. Well, thank you so much for watching, everybody. My name's been Hazel from Hazelnutty Games. I'll see you next time. Bye!